Good morning. We'll call the December 17th, 2025 DRC meeting to order. Excuse me, the meeting's been called to order. Thank you. We'll start with roll call. Community Development's present. Police.
Andrew King.
Public Works.
Dale Smith.
Fire.
Jeremy Holderfield.
And Building.
John Hanson.
All right, we have 8 special events on the agenda this morning, and Lexi is here. The first one is Throwback Reunion, March 14th.
So ARA Promotions is looking to bring the Throwback Reunion event to the Apopka Amphitheater on Saturday, March 14th, 2026 from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's a one-day outdoor music festival with DJs, live performances, and themed entertainment celebrating the sounds of the 1980s and 1990s. It'll be a ticketed event with 3 ticket tiers, VIP, preferred, and general admission. They're expecting about 5,000 people. They'll have a private security company, gator guards, as well as off-duty because there will be alcohol. Parking will be located on Barbecue Row and the surrounding complex areas. They'll be utilizing 2 to 3 entry gates for patron entry. That's depending on the attendance. Setup will begin on the day before, March 14th at 7 a.m.
Any questions on this one? All right, Community Development has nothing further. Police.
No comments.
Fire. Public Works.
No comments.
Fire.
No comments.
Building.
I don't have anything. Thank you.
All right, the next one is the Country Show.
So Duderman Productions is looking to bring a country show to the Apopka Amphitheater featuring Lee Bryce on Friday, March 17th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. It'll be a ticketed event. There'll be 3,000 people expected. They will be hiring gator guards as well as off-duty. There will be alcohol. Their setup includes 10 by 10 tents, food trucks, stage production, and vendors. Parking on Barbecue Row and the surrounding complex areas, and setup will begin the day prior on March 19th at 7 a.m. They'll be utilizing 2 to 3 entry gates depending on the attendance.
Any questions on this one?
Like I said, I just want to confirm, based on all we had conversation before, that the security companies are unarmed, correct?
Correct.
That we've coordinated with Sergeant Colley?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any additional questions? All right, Community Development has nothing further. Police.
Nothing further.
Public Works.
No comments.
Fire.
No comments. Thank you.
Building.
No comments. Thanks.
Okay, the next one is Music Fest Orlando.
Jade Events is looking to bring the Music Fest Orlando to the Apopka Amphitheater on Saturday, March 28th from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. It is a R&B music fest, and it is a ticketed event. There will be 3,500 people expected. They're going to be using a new security company called Knox Security Force, and they will be hiring off-duty as there will be alcohol. Their setup includes 10 by 10 tents, food trucks, stage production, and vendors. Parking will be on Barbecue Row and the surrounding parking areas, and their setup will begin the day prior on March 27th at 7 a.m., and they will also be utilizing 2 to 3 entry gates.
Any questions? All right, Community Development has nothing further. Police.
No comments.
Public Works.
No comments.
Fire.
What were the ticket projections? Did I miss that?
3,500.
Okay, thank you.
Building.
I don't have anything. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, the next one is Apopka High School Jazz Band.
So the Apopka High School is looking to bring their Orange Blossom Jazz Festival back to the Apopka Amphitheater. This is their 3rd year, I believe. And it will be a 2-day event from Friday, April 10th to Saturday, April 11th from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. That is the daily time. It is an annual jazz fest featuring middle school, high school, and college jazz bands. They are expecting 2,500 people. They will be hiring a private security company, Executive Security and Protection. Their setup includes food concessions, 10 by 20 tents, and production. There will be no alcohol. Bus parking will be at Gate 5, and guest parking will be at the remaining gates in the Complex 1 and 2. And their setup will begin April 9th. And they'll be utilizing all the gates for patron entry except for Gate 5. That'll be production only.
Any questions?
I might have missed it. Was there off duty for that trip?
They hired off-duty last year in supplement to a private security company, so I think they're using the security company this time rather than off-duty unless it is a requirement.
Okay. Thank you.
Any additional questions? All right, Community Development has nothing further. Police.
Nothing further.
Public Works.
No comment.
All right, Fire.
No comments. Thank you.
Building.
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Okay, the next one is the reggae concert.
So Duderman Productions is looking to bring a reggae show to the Apopka Amphitheater featuring UB40 on Wednesday, April 15th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. This is on a Wednesday, so the 10 p.m. curfew is slightly longer than typical, so they're requesting an extended curfew approval. This is a ticketed event at the Apopka Amphitheater. They're expecting about 1,500 people. They will be hiring gator guards as well as off duty for the alcohol. Their setup includes 10 by 10 tents, food trucks, stage production, and vendors. Parking will be on Barbecue Row and the surrounding complex areas, and they will be setting up the day prior on that Tuesday at 7 a.m. And they'll be utilizing 2 to 3 entry gates for patron entry, depending on the attendance.
Any questions? All right, hearing none. Community development has nothing further. Police,
No comments.
public works,
No comments.
fire,
No comments, thank you.
building.
I don't have anything, thanks.
Okay, the next one is the Bahia Shrine 5K Camel Walk.
The Bahia Shriners are looking to bring their 5K camel walk / run back to the Northwest Recreation Complex on Saturday, April 18th, 2025 or 2026, from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. They're expecting about 250 runners. It'll start at the large pavilion. They'll have a 10 by 10 tent for their setup. They will race around the pond. There'll be no alcohol, and they'll be utilizing the complex parking.
Any questions? All right, community development has nothing further. Police,
No comments.
public works,
No comments.
fire,
No comments, thank you.
building.
I don't have anything, thank you.
Okay, New Year's Eve, 5th Street Ball Drop.
The city of Apopka is looking to host a New Year's Eve 5th Street Ball Drop on Wednesday, December 31st from 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. They are requesting a road closure and open container. It is a street festival and a free event. They're expecting 500 people. They'll be hiring off duty, and their setup will include stage production, the ball for the ball drop. There will be alcohol from the surrounding 5th Street businesses, and they are requesting open container that will go to City Council for additional approvals. Parking will be in the 5th Street public parking lot. The affected roads will be 5th Street between Park and Central from 2 p.m. to 5 a.m. And this will also go to City Council for additional approvals. This map will be slightly updated when it is presented to Council. The stage is just shifted to the middle aisle of the street. And we have met with APD and AFD and reviewed the event and developed event operation plans for this.
Any questions? Okay, community development has nothing. Police,
I have no question.
public works,
No comment.
fire,
No comments, thank you.
building.
I don't have anything, thanks.
All right, Victory Church World Outreach Valor Youth Camp 5K.
This event is a 5K fundraiser at Northwest Recreation, and next to the large pavilion will be where their setup is on Saturday, March 14th from 4 a.m. to 2 p.m. The timing will most likely adjust because there is another event at the amphitheater that same day. It is an organized run walk. There will be admission fees. They're expecting about 200 people. Their setup will include snack concessions at the beginning of the race in a 10 by 10 tent. They'll be utilizing the complex parking, and the route is the normal route we use for 5Ks.
Any questions? All right, nothing further from community development. Police,
No comments.
public works,
No comments.
fire,
No comments, thank you.
building.
I don't have anything, thanks.
All right, I believe that's all of our
I think
special
that's it.
events.
Thank
you,
you.
Lexi. Okay, next item on the agenda is Wild Oaks Lot 7 replat. Jean Sanchez is the project manager. I'm sitting in on that one for her today. It's a replat of Lot 7, and I don't know if the applicant is in attendance. Okay, yes. You received comments from the DRC, I believe, including our legal department as well.
Good morning. The first question that I had, well, my name is Kim Arafai. I'm with Kimley Horn, my analyst there, my project manager on behalf of Mackenzie Surgeon. So we didn't receive comments from fire, police, building, and transportation. We wanted to know, sometimes we receive them later on. Are you guys still working, or did you just have no comments at the time?
I didn't have any comments.
I have no comments
Okay.
as of now.
Okay.
Yeah, no comments.
Okay, perfect. So we realized that the Lot 7 replat that we sent in was the wrong version. And so there were some comments regarding the replat. We do have a physical copy if I could bring it up and show you before I send the question to that we have for Public Works, if that's okay.
I'm good with that.
Okay, perfect. Digital okay, or would you prefer a physical copy to keep?
We
Either one?
would prefer digital, and if you could upload it into
Okay.
OpenGov and just resubmit it. Then.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let me grab the. So this application is just to modify the existing Lot 7 replat. We did change the boundaries of Tract A and B, and then we have a couple of new parcels and then one area of public road that we're proposing. We do already have applications in for the Lot 7 access roads and then C-Store. Those are two separate MDP applications that have already been submitted, and then the rest will be coming soon.
All right. Any questions for the applicant on the plat?
So the little hammerhead at the top, that's actually part of the plat?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, because it wasn't in the heavy boundaries.
Yeah.
I didn't even look at that or
Yeah.
reviewed that. I just looked at what was in the
Mhm.
heavy boundaries, which
Yeah.
would normally be within the plat.
Gotcha. Yeah. So like I said, the wrong version was uploaded. So we will be re-uploading this once it's finalized by the surveyor.
Okay, then, the comment about easements
Yes.
adjacent to the public right of way, on the other little public right of way, we would want the same sort of utility easements.
So all of our easements on Sadler and Effie have already been conveyed or proposed through the
No,
prior plat.
Those are the right of ways.
Uh-huh.
I want easements outside of the right of ways
Okay.
to put in all these wonderful communication utilities
Okay.
that are just tearing up all of our permanent utilities that are
Okay.
in the right of. We've
Okay.
had this year, probably since I've been here,
Mhm.
a half a dozen breaks on our force mains, our water lines, and everything else with people boring up under the road in the right of way. So we're now pushing everybody into the easements outside of the
Okay.
right of way.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take that to my manager, and so we can discuss further with Public Works about what you guys would like that to look like.
Okay.
Only other comments seem to be pretty straightforward. I think the updated plat would resolve a lot of the comments that we received. We didn't have any other questions at the time.
All right. Any questions for the applicant? All right. Community development has nothing further other than the comments that were generated,
Okay.
which you received. Police,
No comments.
Public Works,
No additional comments.
Fire,
No comments, thank you.
and Building.
I don't have anything. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the Apopka K through 12 charter school. First submittal, and June is the project manager on that one.
Good morning. For the record, this is Junson Planner. The subject item is K-12 Charter School Development Project. Per Florida statute, this charter school project will be administratively approved and processed through the CSP procedure. The subject properties are located at 1829 and 1839 Plymouth Sorrento Road. The total size of the lots is about 9 acres. The subject property has a future land use of commercial and are zoned as PD and community commercial, and the school uses are permitted use. The main structures are about 91,000 square feet of two-story building, parking lots, and football field with its accessory structure. The applicants are available for any comments.
And as June had mentioned, this is under Florida law, under statute, it's exempt from going to public hearings because it's a charter school, and charter schools are treated like public schools under statute. I believe the applicant's here. Do you have any questions or comments? Give a presentation.
Sure. My name is Ryan Heilman with Bowler, the civil engineer for the project. We did receive majority of the comments from staff, mainly from planning and zoning. We had a couple clarification items. I don't know if there's a representative from. that I don't. We should. Do you want to address them here, or do you want to? Okay. There was some questions, kind of in no particular order other than what was provided. There was a question about the sign permits and any fence permits. Is that something that we would submit during building permits? After, so it's not something needed. Got it. There, question number 9 or comment number 9. Please include a summary of the project on the title page. I just need a little more clarification on what that is.
Just brief summary of narrative about what this project is on the title page. So when we go back to project, like we know.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. We can do that. Let's see what else would be. There was a question about open space requirements being consistent with the LDC. We did have those calculations shown on our site data table. I just didn't know if there was an issue with that or. Okay, yeah. And if we need to meet after or a separate meeting, we can do that. That might help. Okay, moving into parking, which is one of the main topic items here. There was our current plan is showing 198 permanent parking spaces as shown in the parking field at the bottom left-hand screen. We have some event or additional parking shown as event spaces, and it seemed like there was that isn't typically allowed, or I wanted to talk to.
There was a like clear designed capacity of the school on the plan.
Okay.
I wasn't able to calculate what the maximum parking space requirements are.
Okay.
So I was asking like provide the maximum design capacity of the
Sure.
school, and then I'll do the calculation if that meets the maximum.
Gotcha. And we were also looking at providing some sort of parking analysis and narrative to support our thing, if that makes sense. I can send that to you for preliminary review. Okay. Let's see. The parking plan. There was a question number 16 or comment number 16 stating that is the last statement. Minimum stacking spaces for drive-through and similar facilities is required to be shown on the plans. Just curious on, we had a queuing exhibit, I believe, shown on there. Is that this not being a typical drive-through? How do we best satisfy that comment? I think it was.
What sheet is your queuing exhibit on?
It would be in the 300, so maybe a couple pages after this, past the parking plan. Oh, that pulled up weird. There's vehicle, there's another one. Go 2 more. Parking plan, and that should be a queuing plan in there.
And it decided to reset.
Queuing plan, correct, yeah. And in the top, or in kind of the top right corner, up in this area, is where we were showing our analysis. And it's really meant more on from a length perspective. Okay. And we can further talk about that if we need to.
Yeah, can you like this comment is majorly for like mark the primary building entrance.
Okay.
And see that like how it stacking.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
That was the like major comments.
Okay. So it wasn't necessarily saying we did something wrong, just show more information.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Next set of questions. There was a question about bike parking. In the code per the LDC, there is 2 different columns: a short-term bike parking analysis and a long-term. Would we?
Have to provide like short-term and long-term.
So, but they are 2 different calculation numbers. One's a 1 per 10 and one's a 1 per 20 students. So.
Whichever is maximum, then you have to provide the maximum number.
Okay. All right. We don't have any problem showing. I'm just trying to make sure which category to follow.
Currently the bicycle parking lot was kind of like unclear. It was just like space.
Gotcha.
So like I was asking for provide more information about that.
Okay, we can do that, and we'll add that to our parking exhibit plan. That probably makes the most sense. Next question, arbor permit. It was number 19. Is that something we would want to do concurrently or?
After the
okay.
Projects.
Gotcha. And prefer like prior to construction. Yeah. That makes sense. There was a question about. I know I'm leaving you guys out right now. I don't think there's much for building. Didn't seem to have any comments, and fire seemed to. We just needed to update our fire truck, right?
Yeah, and I'd like to get with you guys offline on this addition of adding a few hydrants into the property.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
I'm looking to want to add a few hydrants on property.
Add more.
Yeah, kind of go over the hydrant locations you guys have on that.
Okay. All right. Is it possible I reach out to you and we can talk through that on a separate meeting?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, whenever.
Perfect.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we're open to that. That makes sense.
Thank you.
Okay. Now I'll jump back over to sidewalks. So there was I believe two comments about sidewalks, one on site and one kind of off site stuff.
That's something we need to more coordinate.
Work together on. Okay. All right. We can do that. And then I'll skip past those. And then there was a question back on the parking. It said, and it had a combination of parking and pedestrian paths. It says for a parking lot that contains more than 200 parking spaces. So our
It seems like current one is less than 200.
Yeah.
Once I do calculation, if that exceed the 200, then
Sure.
you provide like at least one pedestrian parking lot to the building.
okay.
Parking lot to building.
Okay. Yeah, we could probably further discuss that one then too. That was essentially all I had for you at this moment.
There was a comment from city engineer yesterday.
Okay.
So you can discuss with him right now or like future.
Sure. Yeah. If I guess we'll kick it over to you. Is there any major comments or things you want to discuss?
Probably the biggest comment is where your stormwater is going
Yes.
and how you model it. O2B Kids actually took in your entire site.
Yes.
But there's a little bit of a problem because the system they tied into is undersized and it was only designed to have about 6 acres. And I think there's somewhere between about 12 and 15.
Gotcha.
So, and I don't know if you can find it took me a while to find their calculations.
We had a tough time too.
So your post development's got to be limited to what they said was coming to them.
Okay.
And, their tailwater condition, even in their calculations, I don't think is correct. So I think we're going to have to sort of back up to make sure all of this works together.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I think our entire design, and we can further discuss this in detail at a later date, but our design was meant to capture everything that we had in discharge at that
But
particular rate.
the way you're discharging it, you've got an inverted siphon.
Yep.
And you really need to connect into their pipe. You need to truly find a way, because otherwise I'm going to make you put a spreader swale that's going to go the entire length of that property.
Where that corner. Yeah.
And I don't think that's good for you, and I don't think it's good for them.
Yeah, I do believe they have a ditch out there.
They have a pipe system,
right? Or
and there's an inlet. Yeah, I mean you're 5 feet from their inlet. They're at 2-3 feet on one side of the property line. You're 2-3 feet on the other side.
Sure.
It would save you a structure. So I mean, it's really no additional cost to you to sort of do it that way, and that sort of connects it up the way that I think it should be.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and we're very open to that. Were there any conditions as part of their approvals or COs where they had to allow us to connect?
Happened long before I got here.
Okay.
So, and they did a self-certification with DEP.
We saw that.
So you can't find anything with DEP or the Water Management District.
And we tried. We actually.
So do you have their calculations?
We have we do have a set of calculations from them. We can go back and look at that a little bit more as far as the discharge or what they're expecting to come in. The site does, and all assume with their calculations, the site does drain to them. They
Right.
are the lowest part of the area.
It doesn't, and if you look at their calculations, their time of concentration path is quite a bit different than yours on your site. So there are a lot of little things we need to talk about. I put my comments in late after Gene shut it down.
Sure.
I made it a public comment, but I emailed it directly.
To our email?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll have our team. It's a general email for our permitting team that will that didn't make it to me yet. So
Okay.
But yeah, I think that'll be a good idea to have further conversations. Outside of the stormwater, was there any? Are you also reviewing utilities or not?
The utilities also.
Okay.
I think when you start looking at the hydrants for Jeremy next door, what we need to do is you really need to loop the system back in.
Okay.
Or by our code, it has to be a 10-inch pipe system.
Okay.
So those are the little things we can work through.
Yeah, yeah, and we're open to that. The loop system, we weren't sure if, I mean, if we had needed to make two different connections or if it just needed to be looped
Well, you
internal.
can either way. I mean,
Yeah.
so but you truly need to have a loop system. And I didn't see where you were connecting to our reclaim.
We were unaware of Reclaim being available. We would
I,
love to connect to
it's on
Reclaim.
Plymouth Sorrento Road.
Okay,
So
gotcha. All right.
if you want to submit a utility availability request through the engineering website, we'll
I
send you a nice map.
Yeah, I believe we did, and that's why I'll go back and look at our
Okay.
records, but that's how we knew where the water and the future sewer is. We're doing some of the Mira project down the road, and we knew that force main's coming through,
Yeah.
hopefully soon. But all right, yeah, I'll continue to coordinate that.
And then you had one sheet that went crazy on you.
And really, on the PDFs.
It wasn't in English. It wasn't in Spanish. It wasn't in Chinese. It's your striping plan.
Okay, we can. It may have been just an Adobe thing.
Yeah, I
and
know. I tried to read it, but I couldn't.
Well, it's not intended to be that way. But yes, we can. I'll if I need to revise it and send it to you separately just for a quick review. That we'll try to do that.
Or we can wait, till you submit it next time. So
That's fair.
that's not a hard sheet to look at.
No, it shouldn't be. I guess from did anything come up that we haven't seen about the transportation or our offsite design? I know that's part of it. Mainly is Orange County review.
Right. Yeah. Bill Warden looked at it. He said the TIA was approved.
Okay.
So that'll be good. Now we do need details on your wall. I don't know what type of wall you're building around your pond.
Okay.
So, and because what I'd like to know is what the tiebacks are and a few things like that.
Are you looking for specific shop drawing?
I want a structural drawing of the wall because all of them have different tieback
Sure.
considerations, and we like to make sure that if it's a geogrid, whatever it is that
We're accounting for it.
you also make sure that nobody ever digs in that area and cuts the geogrid.
Okay, that makes sense. We can work on that and
Okay.
get that pulled together. There was, and this might be a good thing. I didn't see any comments on, or many comments on landscape plan. Was there any issues? I don't know who would review that. Satisfactory.
So far it was good. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, it's good to hear. We love to hear that. Perfect. The last thing I had on my agenda that were outside of the comments is we are considering the possibility of phasing the project. And we were wondering as far as how that looks on the plans and how that's going to be viewed. Is that something we can just put a phase line on the plans, or what would be the best appropriate way of doing that?
Yeah, you need to show the phase line on the plan, and
Okay.
then how would you break it up into phases?
It's mainly the football field.
Okay.
Or the sports field would be
Okay.
the second phase of the development of the project.
Okay.
And our intent is to get it all approved and you guys see everything as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
And then that would just be closed out at a different time is
Okay.
our goal.
Yeah, if you show it as a phase 1 and phase 2,
Okay.
I think it would be good.
Perfect. Awesome. And I believe that is it. Anything else that
All right.
I believe that's it.
Does anybody have any questions for the applicant? Okay, community development has nothing additional. Police,
No comments.
public works,
We'll talk after you see all the comments.
Absolutely.
Fire,
No other comments. Thank you.
building.
Nothing.
All
Thanks.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item, Ondich North Major Development Plan. I will sit in on this one. It is major development plan for the Ondich North PD. It's going to City Council tonight. The PD rezoning is for first reading. The major development plan is not. It'll go back at a later date. The applicant is here. We received comments from the DRC. Do you have anything you'd like to discuss? Okay. All right, and this is having trouble loading. So, any questions or comments for the applicant on this one? I think the comments.
As always, I'm a little bit behind, but I'll get you my comments.
Okay. All right. Community development has nothing other than the comments that were generated. Police,
No comments.
public works.
No comments.
All right. Fire,
No comments. Thank you.
building.
Nothing. Thanks.
All right, and we will see you tonight for the rezoning. Okay. Next item is Palucci Acres PD agreement. First submittal. I'm the project manager on this one. The legal department has been working with the applicant's counsel on this one. I did not receive any comments from the DRC on this. I had a few that I have been working with the applicant on back and forth. The rezoning was recommended for approval by the Planning Commission by a vote of 5-1 last Tuesday night. The applicant is requesting a continuance tonight before the City Council to January 7th to allow additional time for this agreement to be worked on. I know the applicant's representative is here. It seems like primarily everything is in legal court right now. You have any questions or anything to add? Okay. Any questions for the applicant, or does anybody have any comments on the DA, or is everything good on it from a DRC standpoint? Okay. All right. Community development has nothing further. Police,
No comments.
public works,
No comments.
fire,
No comments, thank you.
building.
I don't have anything. Thanks.
Okay. Now that brings us to discussion. We won't have any meetings next week because it's Christmas Eve, and then the next week because it's New Year's Eve. Anybody items for discussion? All right, we're adjourned.